Good
Hello,
morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, hello, hello. So, welcome everyone watching on X, on YouTube, and of course in the group Getting Started in Crypto. So, you can join us there and trade with us as well. So, we've had some awesome results in the last
you
week.
can do all sorts of things. Trade with us. You can set up your HODL portfolio, talk to us. You can look at our crypto bites, which is an area dedicated to things like airdrops and exchange listings. I feel like we've pretty much got everything you need, hopefully. So
We do. We even, if you don't have time, we've even got trading bots that do my signals for you without taking a third of your money like exchanges do. So if you're copy trading on an exchange, you're losing money because we don't take that from you.
we don't. And yeah, if you're watching this and you're not part of GSIC, then now's the time. This is the sign you've been waiting for.
It literally is. It
Um,
literally is because we're just about to go into this bull run.
oh,
September's nearly done and we're going into October.
October, love it. And like you say, we've had a pretty damn green week so far, haven't we?
We have, and it's continued green. We didn't get the dip that everyone was expecting. I was expecting a little bit a deeper dip. Can't even speak. So, um, Bitcoin's decided to go up. We've still got a little bit of work to go before we get to confirm the inverse head and shoulders. We need to get to 75. So let's jump into a chart.
Okay, let's do it after you.
Okay, so this chart I've been talking about for a long, long time, all over Twitter now. Lots of people are talking about inverse head and shoulders. This does not confirm until 75K. So we need to get there. We need to pump Bitcoin to 75K, push it over there. Then we've got that confirmation. We may get a pullback at that point. And then, we're off and running. And, it's the perfect time. As I've been telling you, if we go back to my quantitative chart, and I talked to you about the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. I know you're all bored with this now, but I go on about it every week, how Bitcoin's in a 4-year cycle and the cycle works the same every 4 years. And about this time when we're all really bored, where, a lot of people have opened shorts because they're like convinced, literally convinced it's going down to, I don't know, 30K. 43K is a number I hear a lot. I don't actually know how the 43 number comes about. I've tried to work that out. I've put some fibs on that. And, maybe it's a 0.05 on the total pattern. We get to about 43. The support down here, if we were looking at that, is at 38,900. So 43 is kind of a random number for a lot of people to be throwing out. And I'm seeing lots of people saying that they're waiting for 43. What if 43 never happens? Are you going to wait forever? It's like, that is why you should be dollar cost averaging, DCAing into Bitcoin with all the dips. So you literally want to be, adding to Bitcoin, adding to your position on every little dip down, especially if this is a long-term trade for you, going into the major part of the bull market. So probably for the next 12 months from now, we're going to have some pretty good gains. Like, it's not going to go up, up, up forever, but it will go up, pull back a little bit, go up, pull back a little bit, and then we will get that decline again. So, we're looking at sort of September, October 2025, we're looking for a high. That works out with our 4-year cycle. And, our November, so we got one in November. So it could even push through to November within that time. So when we go back here, we had December. We've got November. It seems to be, cutting short by a month. So that could be October this year, 2025, sorry. So we've got some time and some movement happening here for Bitcoin. So you're still early. Potentially at this point, if we're going up to these projections, Even at a low projection for 146,000. Now that's a low projection because I've seen some really super high ones, like up around the $1 million mark. We always get those $1 million marks coming out. So even at a low projection, that's like 134%. You know, keeping your money in a bank is going to get you 3% a year, not 134% in a year. So it's like, why aren't you putting more money into Bitcoin? So I know I am. So be like Lisa. That's all I can say.
Well, very optimistic, and obviously for anyone watching, this isn't financial advice, although Lisa has always been incredibly optimistic about crypto. On that note, how are you seeing the sentiment across other places like X? Because I know you follow some people who you respect with their analysis and opinions. What are they talking? They seem to be following the similar ideas to you, or are they doing something different? What's the sentiment?
Yeah, it seems to be following a similar narrative. There's a couple of people that, you know, are saying that we're pushing out for another couple of months. I don't see that happening. We've already started to change that momentum. You know, one of the major points that I do look for, like on any chart. So when we go back to this is a weekly chart that I've had up with the inverse head and shoulders. So if we look to that, every time we've had a cross, so this is RSI. So we've got a 14 length SMA on this RSI. So every time this SMA has crossed the RSI, we have gone really bullish. So, you know, I've marked it on the chart as to where and when that has happened. And, you know, it's been quite positive. So we've just crossed that in the last few days, and we got the pump shortly after. So, you know, whether that continues, we are getting easing sell pressure, and, you know, we're closing out this monthly, and it looks like it could be a good close for the monthly. So if we go back, I'm going to put this chart up to the monthly just so we can have a look at that and have a look at what we've got. We've had quite a few sort of sideways sort of candles. If we can get this candle here a little bit higher, engulfing this previous candle, that's a really strong sign. At the moment, this candle is also good because we've got this doji. And then this second candle just means it's kind of pregnant. And that when it's pregnant, it's about to give birth to a candle going up. So, you know, that's another thing to look out for. When we've got a doji, we want a little candle beside it, or an engulfing candle beside it, which means that's an even more bullish candle. So that's what we're looking out for the close. We're only a few days away. And yeah, it's really, really looking good. We had a good close on the weekly. It would be ideal if we could break this previous high. We haven't quite got there yet. So we want to get above $65 and $75. So breaking that would be ideal. And closing above that for this month would be really, really bullish in my perspective.
Okay. Well, let's hope that it gives birth this month then to its mega green candle. That will certainly be a good look for everyone involved, unless they're shorting, which I don't think they should be right now.
I don't think this is a part of the market to be shorting. We are starting to turn. A lot of the alts are starting to turn. You know, we've seen charts like FTM. Let me just grab that. I'm just going to jump to a couple of alts. So where we've gone 174% since August. So that's 2 months, 174% in 2 months. You know, that's the difference. That's why your portfolio should be mega diversified. I see heaps of people like the Bitcoin maxis saying, oh, you should be 80% in Bitcoin, 100% in Bitcoin, you know, 50%, 60%. It's always those higher levels. For me, you should be, you know, 25% in Bitcoin, sorry to say. All the Bitcoin maxis hate it when I say that, but the reason being you diversify, because you diversify into strong performing alts. So ones like FET, ones like FTM, ones like TAO, ones, like your AI, strong AI coins, strong quantum computing coins. And, if you did want to know more, you can jump into GSIC, gettingstartedincrypto.com, and have a look at our HODL portfolio, which has been broken down for that reason, to help you, invest into the right sort of stuff and know what's happening with that portfolio, why it's broken down that way. And, it's the best way to make money, in my opinion. So when you're sort of breaking down those, better performing sort of alts with, you've still got your Bitcoin, your ETH, your Solana. They make up a huge part of that portfolio. So you do have that stability, but then you have, that split with the alts. And, if something happens like Luna or, something completely crashes, you're not losing all of your money. It's like nicely split.
Okay. Where would you like to go to next? So have we looked at Ethereum yet? I'm not sure.
Not yet. Let's jump to Ethereum. So I've got that chart up. So this is a resistance and support that we've had for quite some time. We've just broken that region again. So you can see that it was a resistance. It broke through first time, so which was nice. Became support, almost support, broke down, got back over, broke down, resistance, has just come up. So we're looking at 3,000. Which is the next resistance. It's also the 200 MA resistance on the daily. We've got some nice volume coming in at the moment. We've also just broken the resistance on the RSI, which is, it's currently got bearish divergence. But if we can get to that 3,000 point, we're going to be topping up at this region, and likely this is what I see for ETH. So hang on, let me get my squiggles. So touching that 3,000, coming back down here, and then a breakout, and then up. So yeah, so that's kind of, Ethereum's a bit sort of choppy at the moment. We do have ETFs sort of, bolstering those up and buying. Vitalik has stopped selling, which is nice. So, ETH can be a bit more bullish over the next little bit. So it does look like we potentially are getting to that 3,000 mark fairly soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Make sure you have a stop loss if we don't.
Of course, always. In terms of alts this week, I know last week we didn't look at many because, if any, because they were all in very similar patterns. What are your thoughts for this week?
Yeah, so alts this week, because we do have dominance climbing a little bit. So let's, hang on, where's my dominance chart? It has decided to disappear. There we go. So our dominance here has just hit the top of this resistance again, and it is pulling back. So that is going to allow alts a little bit of breathing space. Obviously, it's just gone up. That's when alts have had their pullback. So we should see alts kind of moving and completing their patterns. Most of them are waiting for a wave 5. If not, they'll be in some sort of, corrective 4, but they are looking quite good. So, we've got charts like FET that, potentially it should go sideways like that, but it's just, this is the point of the market where a lot of the time they just break out and they start to get bullish because people are getting sort of going, okay, I've got extra money here. What can I do? I'm going to buy some alts. And I've been waiting for 6 months. So that's how long we've been in this sideways momentum. And that hasn't been all bad for alts. We've had some really FET and FTM, and quite a few alts have done over 100% in the last 6 months. So it's not been all doom and gloom that we have heard on Twitter. While Bitcoin's been predominantly boring and sideways and going a bit backwards, alts have been fairly sort of buoyant and nice. So yeah, and they continue to be like that. So we're going to see charts like FET breaking out. FTM is currently in a minor pullback, so we may not get too deep on that at the moment. We're sitting here around the 200. The 100 MA on the daily is all the way down at 48. I don't think we're going that low. If this is a wave 1 here, then that's 53, 54. So potentially it could wick down to that region and then take off again. So we're kind of looking at that. But, this is filling out another nice, the start of inverse head and shoulders as well. So a lot of these alts are looking like they're about to take off.
Okay, cool. We've got a couple of requests, or one. We've got Crow from Robbie on YouTube. Let's squeeze in a couple of requests. If anyone else, especially you guys, in getting started in crypto, just go into the chat next to the video here, pop the coin in. We'll do a few if we can squeeze them in, or that little form at the top.
Yeah, so Crow actually looks, this is a 4-hour chart. If you bring that up, so this looks like potentially this is bottomed at this point. We do have a pivot around 1188. So it is lagging sideways. Like if a few of the older coins like Crow, like DOT, are kind of just going sideways at the moment. So the money flow eventually gets there. There is a lot of hype, obviously, around AI, quantum computing, and meme coins, unfortunately, for meme coins. But, people love them. People love to trade them. They make money. So, and that's what we're here for. But eventually, if you have enough patience, these charts also do get there. So if this was a bullish pattern, which potentially it is, there's a lot of bullish alts out there. As soon as it breaks at 1188, it's definitely a bullish pattern. So, that next wave here should go to 1285. And so that would be the start of our next impulse up. So if we were to draw this, so this is our wave 1, our 2 coming up. It should go to around 17 all up, come back down, and then continue up. So what that is, then we break that down into 5 waves. So then we've got our 5 waves coming up at this point. So, and that's kind of what that looks like. It does look kind of choppy and, up, down, up, down, up, down, but that's how it works. So if we look at Elliott Wave, it trades on the psychology of the market. And, a lot of the time with these older alts, they've got really, really strong patterns and really easy to follow. So with Crow, it does look like next wave up will double top. Then we should break that high here and then continue up. So it looks like this region here is going to double top and then continuation up.
Okay, cool. Next up, ILV, Illuvium ILV. John says, what happened to ILV this morning? So
I don't know what happened to ILV this morning.
Find out. I was just taking a look at their Twitter, and they've made an announcement, an update, but I don't think that's going to be anything to do with.
Yeah, no, it just looks like it's kind of sideways, just correction. Yeah, it's not looking ugly. You know, it's a really new pattern, so it's not. Hang on, let me have a look. I'm going to bring this right up to the monthly just to see where we are. Yeah, so that's our low down here. So we've broken down potentially, you know, that's our lowest of our low points, hopefully. When I'm just going to go through and have a look. We seem to be getting good volume in. So the volume is starting to increase. So we can see that this is slowly starting to increase. When we go to the MACD, we are starting to get some bullish momentum here. The RSI hasn't really bottomed on any of these charts. So that's, you know, interesting. So it either shows that there's potential strength or there's a lower low to come. Doesn't look like that though, because, you know, when we drop it down to the 3-day, we're getting that bullish divergence coming through. This is looking more and more like a consolidation pattern when we get to these lower, like higher, lower time frames. So let's go 2 days. Yeah, it's very much looking like a consolidation pattern. So this is now fighting with the EMA. So currently rejecting on the 21 EMA, needs to push past there to, you know, really sort of gain momentum. When we're looking at that, it's sort of twisting around with the MAs and EMAs, and we've got the MAs are coming down. So it's not looking ugly. It has like got some strength coming in. It's still got consistent volume. Yeah, so
the X post they put on this morning, it's just announcing that November the 21st they will be doing their update of Illuvium Beyond Wave 3. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it's obviously positive news. So it could be building up in a month's time.
So I'm not aware of what that is, but it might be a mainnet or it might be an updated token. You know, that's been happening a lot throughout the market where we've seen, you know, Polygon and Matic and that sort of thing update their tokens. It kind of necessary, like, to keep up with all the changes that are happening and, you know, all the new dexes, and to be able to trade it kind of everywhere, move it across like all different networks and stuff like that. So maybe that's something that's happening. You know, to me, this is not ugly. That hit support. So, you know, potentially this is still a good pattern as far as I'm concerned. It's not moving obviously as fast as a lot of the other ones that are moving. So, you know, I know lots of people get concerned when that happens. This is a rising wedge. So, you know, that may at some point sort of just hold here. It's rising and continuing, and on the 4-hour has, you know, bullish divergence. And yeah, so I would say that it's literally going to hit those upper targets. And I've got a target of 65 on this one at the moment. You know, this for me was the low. It's got enough waves. So ideally, I'd like it to break above 46. That's our next pivot. That's our next point that we really need to sort of break through to show bullish momentum on this one. But it's looking quite strong at the moment. So, you know, obviously we do get dips. We get all alts are going to be highly manipulated by whales. at some point. So, you know, a lot of the time when there is announcements, there will be whales that go, okay, I'm just going to dump on the market because they're going to be selling and there's going to be lots of liquidity. So, yeah, that happens.
Okay, so we've got a few more coming, so let's try and whiz through them. ZEC. Z. Please. ZEC. So while she's getting that, Cami says hi and much love.
All right, hang on. I've got a BT. This is a really old ZEC chart. So I'm going to find a newer one. Zcash. When's my last? Probably this one. So this is kind of similar to what we were just seeing on Illuvium. So yeah, a similar thing where we've got this channel, this downtrend channel, then it changes to an expanding wedge, and then we start increasing momentum the opposite way. So essentially that's what is happening. So this is probably going to look something like Illuvium does at the moment, where we're seeing here come up and then, you know, it'll take off. It's going to be one of those slower ones. If you have a look here, if you followed me for a long time, you'll know that I talk about something called alt curl. And we look at ZEC and we can see that curling. So that's essentially what we want to see. We want to see that momentum changing. When that starts to change, that means that there's more investors coming into the market, they're buying, and that is when the momentum changes and these coins start to move higher. So while they are pulled back, while they are quite sort of dormant, eventually the money flow starts to come into these older coins as well. So do need to have a little bit more patience. They're not moving as fast as the AI or the meme coins at the moment, but doesn't mean that they won't. So yeah, to me that looks like changing. It's looking good.
Cool. Next up, Sadie's looking for GLM. GLM.
It didn't like my chart. Okay, so this is 23. So, you know, in the whole scheme of things, it's only just over a year old. It's a baby chart. You know, has got our A, our B come down for our C, potentially has completed that. Looking like a nice consolidation pattern here, and looks like we've almost got a breakout. So where we want this to sort of break out above on this wave would be about 49. And that would be a really bullish pattern for me. So if we're looking at sort of some targets for this one, so that's perfect at the moment. It's coming up. So what would happen, this is a daily, and we can see that, you know, we've crossed the 100 MA. So these are still turned down. So these are still bearish at the moment, but there's a lot more volume coming into this coin. So we want to sort of maybe consolidate a little bit in this region. So sit here, consolidate before going up and potentially up quite high for this one. So if this is our wave one, like from our overall pattern, then we can get some wave projections. Oops, hang on, too many. and have a look at where that is going for the bull run. So, you know, we should go up at least on the next wave on this one. So if that's our wave 1, we've come down for our wave 2. Our wave 3 should be somewhere up here, and then our 5 up around this region. So let me put some actual waves on that for you. So 1, 2, 3 can go up as high as a 786, come back down, and then continue up. So from this point, when you're looking at coins around this point in the market, where we're sort of, you know, we've corrected our wave 2, we're coming into a wave 3 or a, you know, an impulse wave, you know, that's 800% that you're looking at on some of these patterns. So, you know, that's the potential of what the next year could hold for alts. It has in the past. It often repeats. So, you know, if it doesn't, don't shoot the messenger. But that's just a lot of the time how these markets work, because we get so much money flowing back into the market because we've got quantitative easing. People have got more money from not having to pay so much on their housing loans, on their car loans, you know, that sort of thing. More money comes into the investments and, you know, crypto and higher risk investments. So that's when we get these patterns, and they look really nice. So DCAing into all your, you know, favorite coins that you think are going to, you know, be quite successful, that they've got teams that are building, teams that are working, and continuing to, you know, increase the momentum of these coins.
Okay, last one. Let's have a quick look at BSV, and then we will wrap it up.
BSV. Another very, very sideways one. So at the moment, it is, this is a 12-hour chart. So in the 12-hour chart, I was looking at earlier, has just crossed on the MA. So that's a really strong sign that it should get some strong momentum. So it, you know, due to everything that's been happening with that coin, with BSV and everything, it's hard to sort of say whether, you know, it's going to be continued to be suppressed. A lot of whales will continue to sell it down. So the thing that you need to look at is, I'll see if I've still got the chart. So BSV shorts versus longs. No, it's not there anymore. They've taken it down. But you can have a look at, I'm not sure, I'll find it and I'll post it on Twitter, on X. But BSV shorts versus longs is always a good one to watch, because when there's a disparity between the two, it will often just shoot up. So when it's been suppressed, that's when it'll absolutely take off. So it doesn't look like that's far away. It does need some more volume to enter for this to be buoyant, but it's got enough waves here that it can continue up.
Okie dokie. Cool. Any final notes you want to wrap up with?
So the thing is, don't over leverage. Don't get too cocky that you're going and throwing all your money and going, I'm going to go 100 times, because I guarantee when you start doing that, the market will humble you. It will absolutely wipe you out, and you'll be starting from scratch. So stay humble in this market. Don't get too excited. Don't get, you know, too cocky that you're going, I'm a genius and I know everything, because the market always has a way of humbling those people. So always use a stop loss. Remember to take regular profits, because at the end of the day, we're all here to make money. And if you don't take any profit, you don't actually make any money. So there we go.
Very good. Thanks everyone for joining us this week. Have a great week ahead, and we will see you very soon. Bye.